Hi, Jay. I'm Miss Kate. I'll be your son's teacher for the coming year. It's nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well, Kate.
So welcome to Head Start.
Thank you.
So you're going to be joining Riley Elliott this school year.
Yes.
So this is our kind of what we do to start the school year is a conversation, really, and we just kind of document it on what we call an initial visit form, so I can learn more about your sweet Elias, and you can learn more about our program. And if you have questions, just feel free to ask throughout this, what I kind of call an interview, but it's more to get to know you, because I want to learn all about Elias before first day of school, so we can make it the most comfortable time for him.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so has he ever been to school before?
No.
Oh, so first time, okay.
Yes.
So we will go over some things for that in a little bit to help with, the first day of school kind of jitters, and sometimes it's anxious for the parent too, so I'll make sure to go over that with you as well. So first off, I want to kind of share, I know when we drop our babies off, or young toddlers, we don't have a lot of communication skills yet, so we do use an app called Learning Genie. If you got in the app on your phone at enrollment, I know they went ahead and shared that with you.
Yes.
Do you have it downloaded?
Yes.
And you can see our program?
Basically.
Perfect. Because if we don't have that, we'd have to start right there and get all that information down. But now that you're in the app, every day you're going to get this little handout sent through the app. This is paper version, just to show you a copy. But throughout the day, teachers document activities they do, maybe fun pictures, or it could be circle time. They could be doing art, crafts. If they're really young, we do like diaper recordings, and we document their feeding. But when they're older, like your child just turned 2, so they would not always document everything, but they will send little updates. So you'll get those daily on the app.
Okay,
and that's
thank
just
you.
an example for you to see, so you know what to expect. And it'll come around 4:30 every day.
Thank you.
So that's a daily sheet. And the app will also be used for what we call in-kind, and that's just a way of for us to send activities home to work with your baby. So if we're working on a skill in class, I'm going to send a similar activity for you to do at home. So for instance, if I'm working on maybe a sharing activity and I say this really works well, I'll click it and I'll send it to you on Learning Genie, and then you'll practice it all week. And it's so easy. We're going to go over this at our parent meeting, but you really just open the app, click the activity, it explains it, and then you just do it with your baby and record, how long it took.
Yeah.
It'll go by 15 minutes, 30, 45, an hour. You'll mark how long it took, and you'll want to do it several times a week. Because
Okay.
the more we practice, the more the child will develop that skill.
I like
so
that.
we'll send it over and over, and you might get annoyed, like, oh no, here comes the same activity, but that's how children learn at
Right.
this age. So don't feel like we're not trying to make it where it's boring, because kids will not be bored by the same activity.
Gotcha.
So throughout the year you'll get that, and we'd really love for you to get at least 9 hours, because our program has to match a number, a big number for federally funded, so there's no cost for you to come here, but in return we need you to be engaged in our center. So one of the ways is the Learning Genie app with in-kind. And we'll be glad to show you. If you're having trouble, just say, hey, I'm not getting activities, or I can't complete it correctly, and I'll be glad to help you learn it.
Yes,
but we
ma'am.
will be talking about it almost daily, probably, about the in-kind app. The other thing we do is screenings, and so you were just, we'll probably got the flyer for the health fair. And
Right.
it's coming up next week. And so you'll be coming with your baby, and you guys will go through stations. And those stations will have screenings. So one of them will be developmental, and you should have received a QR code on the flyer that we want you to go ahead and you use your camera, click it, and the screener pops up. It'll go over questions about your baby's development. And you'll answer all the questions. There's 2 screeners. And then we'll send you those results about 2 weeks or so after school starts. And then we'll tell you how your child did on those results. And if goals need set, we'll meet about those goals to get them on track.
That's
Does that make
super
sense?
cool,
And then we
yes.
also will go over your hearing, baby's hearing, and vision.
Okay.
So all those results will be sent through a letter in about a couple of weeks. Probably 1st of September, you'll get those. So, any questions so far?
So how many times will we do the health fair?
1 time a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so every year we will recheck vision, hearing, and then the developmental screeners won't always be yearly because we'll be doing some other assessments we'll go over in a second that will help you monitor your child's development.
Okay.
But yes, we'll do them yearly. And the other thing we're going to use on the, let me get my little handout here. For milestone checklist, it's called the CDC Milestone app. I'm going to give you a handout. Let's see if I have it in here. Oh, you know what? I put it in my clipboard. It's right here. So this is something that we'll be using, and I think it's really helpful for parents even at home to do, but you're not required to have it on your phone or on your tablet, but you can download it following these instructions, and it tracks your child's milestones, meaning like when it's time for them to say more words. It'll tell you, is your child saying 2 words together? And it'll give you an example, and you can just say yes, no, maybe. So we'll be doing those with you throughout the school year. And if there's a concern, we'll bring it up so we can try to see if we can get that skill level higher. So that'll be something that we'll be doing as your child ages. So he's 2 now, so at 30 months is the next milestone check, and then at 3 years.
Great.
So, and then we also have our schedule. So here's a copy. And this is kind of how our day looks for the school year. So you can kind of see how we start our day, at 7:30, and what we do throughout the whole day until pickup.
Perfect. Thank you.
So what time do you think you'll be bringing your baby to school?
Probably about 7:45 a.m.
Okay. I'm just going to write that so we can kind of have expectations of how many kids are going to be coming in, so we're prepared for that.
Okay.
And do you know who will be bringing your baby, like yourself or any other family members?
Probably myself and his dad.
Poor dad. Now, we did have you all fill out an emergency card. Did you fill that? Do you remember filling that orange card
Yes.
out? Okay, so that tells us who can pick up.
Okay.
So if you ever add anybody to that or need somebody else to come, you must put them on that orange card.
Okay.
So you have to alert me so I can get that card for you, and then our director will make sure we get a copy of that person's ID card before they can pick up.
Okay. Would it be best to email, or how would you like me to go about that?
So for the ID, we just have the person bring it with them.
Okay.
So make sure if it's like a cousin, be like, don't forget your license, because it's happened before and it's a little more challenging for us to get it. So it's best just to bring it. And then once you bring it one time, we copy it, it's in the file.
Gotcha.
So we can refer to it. So that's kind of how that'll be. And in the mornings, we do have you all do a little morning health check. So we'll be asking you some questions like how they sleep last night. Is your, we'll check, make sure there's no eye goop or running noses. And if that does happen, we'll be sure to ask you some more questions to make sure there's nothing contagious going on. So we want to make sure that everyone's healthy coming in. But every morning we'll ask the same questions. So I know some parents get a little, like, oh, here it is. But it's just to protect the children and make sure we're all being, cautious on health, especially since the last pandemic we had.
Right.
But also, you will take your baby in and we'll do a diaper check or a diaper change. So you'll change your baby's diaper, or they can go potty if they're already trained based on their needs. So that's kind of our morning routine is we'll ask the questions, you'll help change your baby's diaper, we'll chat a little bit, and then you can head out. But we try to make it a little bit more than just a hi and bye.
Yeah.
To build that connection with
Okay.
each other.
I like that. Thank you.
And do you know, so your baby's still in diapers or are they
Yes.
trained? Okay, and do you know what size currently is the best?
Probably maybe a 3
Perfect.
in pull-ups.
Well, I will say that we don't have pull-ups. We do provide all the diapers here at Head Start, but pull-ups are only used when they're older with a child that might have a disability or something. When they're older, we do pull-ups. So for our agency, we use just the regular diapers, but we provide all of them for you.
Okay.
And the wipes. Is that okay for you?
That's
Sis?
fine. That's perfect.
And then when you're feeling like your child's ready to be potty trained, let us know. And if we see the signs as well, we'll let you know. And we'll have a little conversation about expectations for home and school so we can be on the same page and
Oh,
try
okay.
to get those potty training goals met.
Right.
We definitely
Okay.
want to work on that before they go to Head Start.
Yes.
There's a lot more kids in those classrooms. So also extra clothing. We do need you to bring at least a couple outfits. We do a lot of messy play in my classroom, so be ready for water play, sand, whatever we can get our hands in to learn, we will use. So
Okay.
extra clothes will be needed, as well as if you're potty training, we'll need even more.
Yes, ma'am.
Please bring those. And how does your baby sleep at night?
He sleeps pretty good. I will say he probably wakes up like one time for a bottle or a sippy cup, but other than that, we pretty much sleep through the night.
So, because we do a nap time here,
Mm-hmm.
and they will sleep about 2 hours. And it is on a mat.
Mm-hmm.
Is your baby sleeping on a bed or a crib?
He sleeps in his crib.
Okay, crib. So, is there anything that might comfort?
Bobby,
Okay, and what is that?
the little round pillow.
Oh, so gotcha. Is that what they use to like?
For
go to bed
support,
at night?
yes. It's just more support just so he sometimes gets congested.
Okay.
So we just like to have him leveled in his bed if
Okay.
that's possible.
We can look at that. I'll talk to our health coordinator because we do have some guidelines on sometimes with elevating children, but I'm sure if I talk with her and we explain what's going on, we can see what's going to be able to be used
Mhm.
because we want to make it as comfortable as possible for him.
Okay.
You know? And is at home on a normal day, does he nap for you
Yes.
regularly? Okay. That will be good then. He'll probably be used to that routine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I was saying earlier, we do a lot of hands-on learning, and that means they do a lot of play. We learn everything through action, play, and movement. So, one of our curriculums is, we use called Frog Street. There's a little handout here that talks a little bit about our curriculum. You can take home and read more about. But ultimately, we have a theme. It could be all about me or friends and family, and we'll talk about that theme and let you know it's coming so then you'll know what we're doing in the classroom. We also have a social emotional piece to it called conscious discipline, and that will help teach children how to calm down and regulate when they're having those moments.
Oh, that'll be great.
Tantrum or
That'll do it.
it. We'll be educating you throughout the year with that and those techniques, but it is going to be through the two, Conscious Discipline and Frog Street. And it will be a lot of play. So
Okay.
when we say we're playing, it is learning, and it's all set up to bring skills out in the child's development, not just run around free for all.
So this is like a lesson plan.
Yes.
Okay.
And we will have you sign, or a parent in the classroom sign our lesson plans every week, so you can definitely read it. It'll always be posted on my wall next to the door, and then I welcome you to always pull it out and look at it, and we encourage you to have input on it as well.
Okay.
I looked over, you had filled out an emotional wellness piece. It was called Emotional Wellness at the Enrollment. And so I read over that before we had our visit, and it looks like, Elias is afraid of the dark. Could you tell me more about that so I can help him?
Well, he kind of has moments where he doesn't like to sleep just because it's too dark in the room. So we kind of do either white noise, or we crack the door, or use like a night light. I'll sometimes wait until he falls asleep when he's like in a deep slumber, and then he's able to rest for the rest of the night.
That's very helpful. We might have to use one of those white noise apps on our iPad to help, because I just want to make sure it's comfortable for him. We do not keep the classroom extremely dark, but it does, get a little bit darker, especially on rainy days when
Right.
it's cloudy. I don't want him to be even more afraid of.
Yeah, I think he gets a little nervous.
Yeah. Okay. And is there anything else you need to share about, behaviors or things that you're wanting advice on or help with in terms of his social emotional skills? Any
As of right
concerns?
now, I don't think I have any big concerns other than he's a little afraid of the dark.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
everything else is pretty much
And
regulated.
we'll monitor throughout the year, and if there's anything that comes up, you can always reach out to us and we can work together. We also have an emotional wellness coordinator that comes around and helps with any area of social emotional development, so we can always hook you up with that person if needed.
Okay, that's great.
So also it showed some of the interests. You shared that he likes his cars and trucks and things like that. So I wrote that down to make sure we have out when he comes to school. Is there anything else that, at home he loves to do that I need to know about?
Elephants. We like water and seahorses, octopuses, all of that good jazzy stuff. So that's the theme of his room crib. Yes.
Okay, I'll make sure we have some of that for him, just so we can make him feel comfortable, especially the first weeks of school. And then about your family. So in our program, we do these posters, and we love to see the child's family all around the room. It makes them feel more comfortable. So I'm going to give you, when we walk out, a poster that you can complete. You have time now to do so before school. If you need help having pictures printed, you can send them to us and pick them up. But we want to see, pick favorite people in his family, mom, dad, of course, siblings, or anything he loves at home to put on his poster. And then we're going to have them around the room at their level. So especially when they're starting school, it'll make them feel a little bit more comfortable when they can see the faces of their family.
That's great.
So I'll make sure that we give you that poster, and you just make sure to bring it back. Hopefully, if you can bring it during the health fair, that would be great. If not, the first day of school at the latest would be great, so we can put them up and help them, comfort them when school starts.
Yes,
and then I
ma'am.
also need to get a picture. I know he's playing right now, but before we go, we're going to grab a picture so we can put those around the room as well. It helps them label where their cubby is and where to sit at breakfast, things like that.
Okay.
Now, with your home, can you, or who all lives with you also, we can kind of know who's in the home. So if we hear names, we can connect that.
Okay. So of course, mommy, and then he has daddy. And then we have big sister who goes by Sissy Girl, but her name is Ilari.
Sissy Girl. See, that's good to know, because I would have probably never picked that out if you were saying Sissy Girl.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we have baby sister who, well, not his older sister, which is Ilani, but she goes by Turtle Girl.
Another good to know. Great. And then at home, are your primary language, is it English?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there any other languages you speak in the home?
No, the girls tend to think that they know Spanish, but no.
Have you ever done sign language with your children, like more or please? Do they know any of those types of?
No, we don't do sign language.
So we will be using a little bit of that with our Frog Street. Very simple, like more and please, and we'll send home posters with all the little signs. So if you see him using some of those, you'll be able to connect with.
Yes. Okay, thank you. That's awesome.
And then we love to incorporate family traditions. So if this is your time to kind of start sharing anything that you want. Throughout the year, we'll give you more opportunities. But if there's something you want to share now, like a tradition y'all do, or kind of cultural things that we could bring in the classroom, I'd love to know what those would be.
As far as traditions, we don't really have big traditions, but we do lots of creative things around the house, like arts and crafts, and they're very they like to play, basically, paint, draw, glitter, all of that good jazzy stuff. That's something that we either do every weekend, or it's just something that we do, basically.
Well, if you ever want to come in the class and do some of those with us, we welcome volunteering.
Oh,
That does
cool.
help for the in-kind, so just let us know, and we would love for you to come and share some of those activities.
Oh, I would love that. That's awesome.
Is there anything else with the family that you want to share? Anything else I need to know?
As of right now, I can't really think of anything, but am I able to give you a call, or who would I be in contact with?
You can always call up here on Learning Genie. That app is a great tool because it gets direct messages to me, so you can hit like the two-way message if you have a quick question. You can also call the center, and I'll be here on our, when we're open, our hours. So definitely just reach out or email.
Okay.
I can give you that as well if you need the email address. And of course, we're going to meet, so know that these visits, this is the initial visit, and we'll have another one in around middle of October.
Okay.
And it'll cover a lot of our education piece. So we'll be using the data from the screenings and what we're seeing the first few weeks of school to create some goal setting. And
Okay.
we'll talk about that. And so then that'll be our next visit. And it'll be at the home. So I'll come to you this time. So then I get to see a little bit more about y'all, and it helps the child. They love when we come to their houses. Usually it's like they got to show us the tour and all that. So don't feel
Aw.
intimidated. We just want to come so it really connects with the child.
Okay.
And if there's we'll give you a couple weeks notice to schedule that next visit. So it won't be out of the blue, and we'll try to work around your schedules. I know you're working, so I'll make sure to give you a lot of notice.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank
Okay,
you.
well, if you have more questions, you can reach out. We will have the health fair, so be sure to come to that. And if you could just sign that we met today right here, that would be helpful, and then we'll be done with the visit. I've enjoyed me talking with you, and I cannot wait to start the school year.
We
with
are
y'all.
excited as well. Thank you for meeting with me. This
You're
was very
welcome.
informative.
Good. Thank you.